And these recent sanctions put on Russia by the US, how successful will sanctions be, do you think, for Russian President Vladimir Putin to end the war, if at all?
So they are going to have an impact. How strong their impact is has to do with two factors. The first is the degree to which the United States enforces their implementation. So President Trump's made the decision. Now the bureaucracy has to properly execute it and get the kind of quiet guidance to do that. I think that's going to happen. The second wild card in this is how India and China respond to that. I think India will come into line now, but China will continue, I think, broadly to do their best to attempt to continue to support Vladimir Putin. As most people know, Ukraine is not fighting Russia. They're fighting Russia, North Korea, Iran, and China. And China is backstopping the Russian economy completely to the tune of 35 to 40% increase in imports and exports and direct investment over the last 4 years.
All right, Mark Montgomery, really appreciate your time and expertise today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Let's move on to some other overseas news now. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer pledging to follow the lead of the US and take Russian oil and gas off the global market in the latest deterrent to the Kremlin in their war against Ukraine. Keir Starmer meeting President Vladimir Zelensky, the Ukrainian leader, and other European leaders as well, all part of the Coalition of the Willing. This meeting taking place in London to discuss fresh military aid and air defence support. Mr. Starmer says the new sanctions will push Russia's President Vladimir Putin towards negotiating a ceasefire.
We will act to take Russian oil and gas off the global market. Last week, the UK became the first country to sanction all of Russia's oil majors. On Wednesday, the US acted decisively to join us, together with further sanctions from the EU. And we're choking off funding for Russia's war machine. And I'm urging others to take these steps too.
About 20 other leaders joined via video link for talks on protecting Ukraine's power grid and boosting long-range missile supplies ahead of the winter. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says Moscow must be left with no choice but peace.
Thank you very much, Keir, for today's decision. Thank you for your support that you said and about long range. And there must be no option left for Russia except to end the war and return peace to our country.
Keir Starmer has hinted the United Kingdom could send more long-range missiles to Kyiv as Ukraine's allies meet in London. The UK Prime Minister has called for more pressure to be applied on Russia, accusing Vladimir Putin of being the only person who doesn't want an end to the war.
The Ukrainian city of Kherson this morning under sustained bombardment from Russia. Putin's forces once held it but retreated from here. What they couldn't conquer, they're now trying to destroy instead. On the same day, President Zelensky back in the UK looking for more help to defend his country from such attacks. Presented by the King with some of the best of Britain's military. Not where he'd like them in his country, guaranteeing its security, but symbolising at least British solidarity with Ukraine. In London, the Prime Minister emphasised the need to force Russia's leader, Vladimir Putin, to the negotiating table.
You have said for months that you're ready for a ceasefire and you're ready to meet Putin. Yet he continues to stall and play for time. Putin is the only person who does not want to stop this war.
Ukraine is hitting deep inside Russia, but strikes like these are not enough to stop constant Russian drone attacks. The Allies hope new American sanctions on Putin's oil industry will bring new pressure to bear. President Zelensky's called for them for months and welcomed it finally happening.
Better now than never. So we are very thankful to partners, to Europe and to the United States, with sanctions on Russian energy sector.
So some progress towards putting stronger pressure on Vladimir Putin, but on its own, it won't be enough.
We should regard all these sanctions as just another weapon. It's economic warfare. I don't think that it's a turning point. but I think that the chances of some kind of a settlement are a little bit higher today than they were, say, a couple of days ago.
Whatever the diplomatic progress, the reality on the ground remains more of this for Ukraine: relentless Russian aggression on its territory. Donald Trump has swung like a pendulum during this war between Russia and Ukraine, but he does seem to be leaning now more in the favour of the Ukrainians. The leaders meeting here are hoping to make the most of that, capitalising on the moment before he changes his mind again.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me all right?
This week has seen an unusual level of alignment between the allies on Ukraine on both sides of the Atlantic. It's anyone's guess how long that will last. Dominic Waghorn, Sky News, Westminster.